How you doing there, Jeffy?
Doing good, man. You?
Good.
Good.
Did I ever tell you about my wife Kim's special skill?
Kind of thought we decided not to talk about things like that. I mean,
No, come on, man. No, nothing like that. No, my wife watched so much Brady Bunch as a youngster that she can tell you the plot of the upcoming episode before the opening credits finish. It's uncanny.
I gotta say, that is more impressive than anything else you could have told me.
Here's the story of a guy named Jeffrey who grew up as part of Generation X, telling tales about the 70s and 80s, maybe what he does best. Here's the story of his brother Rocky, who was just a year ahead of him in school. The two of them made entertaining banter as a general rule. Then one day, while laughing at each other's stories, they thought others may just like to listen in. They said, hey, maybe we should make a podcast. And that's how they came up with Just Jeff and Friends. Just Jeff and Friends. Just Jeff and Friends. It's a podcast they call Just Jeff and Friends.
Turn that radio dial.
What you talking about, Wood?
It's time for the most Gen X podcast there is.
Real tomato ketchup?
Not even close, bud.
You found it.
Never been so happy in my whole life.
It's Just Jeff and the dazzlingly uncool.
Don't mess with the bull, young man. You'll get the horns.
Those aren't pillows.
And now, it's Just Jeff.
Here we go again, man. Here we go again.
Here we go. Here
Yep.
we go.
How you been?
I've been good.
Yeah.
Been good.
You know,
Yeah.
I've been looking at our numbers, and it does look like we've got more people actually watching it on YouTube, and we're still getting a lot of numbers of people listening, which is awesome. But, you know, I've watched a few of the videos on YouTube, and, you know, the things that you do with it, it makes it so much more interactive because, you know, a lot of things, especially me, sometimes I have trouble saying things, but I'm sitting here doing it with my hands, and, you know, you just don't catch that on audio. But I also hear people always say, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. So whatever that is, if you're watching it on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. If you're listening to this on audio, hey, if you've got a few minutes, check it out on YouTube too. So, but
Yeah, like and subscribe, and you'll get notifications and all that.
I like that, but I think you need some splaining to do yourself.
What's that?
What is that on your neck?
What are you talking about?
No, it's like hanging. Is that
Do I
a
have
microphone?
Pimple?
No, hanging on your neck. Is that a microphone?
This
Yeah.
right here. This right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I found this when we went to Hawaii recently. Found it on the beach.
Sort of idle.
Yeah. Do you remember you remember on the Brady Bunch?
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
They found. Yeah. So I found this in Hawaii. What's that?
That's taboo.
It's not taboo. I've watched enough episodes of 70s sitcoms to know that something like this is really good luck.
You're arguing with me, the Brady Bunch?
They found, yeah. So I found this in Hawaii, and at first I thought it was bad
Right.
luck.
Yes, taboo, very old, very evil. Bad things come to those who touch.
And so I tried to return it. I took it to this dark cave and tried to return it based on the advice of a local. And it found me
I mean,
again,
hey,
and so I brought it home.
I wouldn't wear it, but
I don't
who
think
knows?
it's bad luck. I mean, I think
it's up
that's
to
kind
you.
of silly.
I mean, hey, I wouldn't wear it, but who knows?
I don't know.
It's up to you.
I'm such a fan of the Brady Bunch. You remember watching the Brady Bunch just like crazy?
Oh, I remember still watching the Brady Bunch just like crazy. If it's on, I'm watching it.
I'll watch it, and I'll even watch like the shows on HGTV, like when they remodeled the Brady house and stuff like that. Or
I just watched the first episode of that 2 days ago, only to find out I think that's the first remake that all of the original kids have been back. There's usually like one. Yeah, like Marsha's missing, or I think Susan Olsen missed one or two. But it is so funny that you just said that, because it was on like Hulu, and I'm like, what is this? So yeah,
it was pretty good. And then you had like Christopher Knight was on The Surreal Life maybe 8 or 10 years ago. That was kind of fun. Kind of had a little Brady.
That was actually
renaissance.
one of the funnier episodes with Vern Troyer and
Vern Troyer.
It was funny.
Yeah, go check that out if you haven't. But no, the Brady Bunch, when we were growing up, that was so great. I mean, we can think of so many stories, and not just the super duper Hawaii episode that was like divided into a couple, at least 2, maybe 3 episodes.
Going in for a swim. Who's coming? What?
I can't remember, but it was just great starting out from. And in fact, I told you my wife is just an absolute aficionado of the Brady Bunch. And,
which is why I'm surprised she'd let you wear that idol. But anyway.
Hello.
You look happy.
Why wouldn't I be? You got a nice tropical drink, like a shrimp. Life is good.
She tried to tell me that it was bad luck, but I didn't.
She would know. She loves the Bradys.
What do you see?
I know. I probably should have listened.
Anyway, so go ahead.
Like she was telling me like some fun facts. So like,
okay,
remember their dog Tiger. So Tiger made an appearance in the pilot. You remember when they got married, and then Tiger like jumped up and destroyed the cake and all that.
Yeah.
But then apparently there was like a year between when the pilot came out and when the first season came out, and sadly, the dog that played Tiger died. Okay. And so they had to get another Tiger who apparently wasn't very well trained, and they just decided this is no good. So I think Tiger only appeared in one more episode in season 1, and that was the one
I guess
where
which one it was?
Yeah, what was it?
Did he knock over a card table that was that had a big house of cards?
Now, see, I think that was in a later season, so that we might have to check
Tiger,
on this.
Though, right? I thought the dog bumped it, and then
maybe it was the Bumpus
won.
Hounds or something.
I don't know.
Maybe it was the neighbor dogs.
So which one was he in then?
Well, when Cindy lost her doll, Kitty Carriole.
Oh, yes.
And he had taken it out to the doghouse.
Yes.
And after that, from what Kim was telling me, and we don't do show research really, so I didn't go out and verify that, but I think that after that, the doghouse was always out there, but
You're right, it was.
Tiger didn't make another appearance.
Well, I think that was probably a decision made by the producers. I mean, have you ever tried to clean shit off of AstroTurf? It's not easy. It's not easy.
You sound like you're speaking from experience.
Well, from what I heard, they had an issue with Bobby, but he was under contract, so they couldn't cut him.
Bobby lives in Utah. Mike Luckenland. He lives in. I'm always hoping I'll run into him, like when I'm in Park City or something. I never have. But yeah. So
well, I have a feeling that If Mike
you name
Lookinland is in Park City for something like Sundance, he's probably waiting tables or ushering. So if you see him, it'll probably be like...
I think he actually does a lot of stuff behind the camera. I think he does some kind of production company or something like that. Yeah, yeah. Can you name all of the Bradys, all of the actors? How about
just
Martian?
like I could name boy bands. Martian,
I know, right?
McCormick.
Yeah. Greg?
Barry Williams.
How about, which interestingly, my father-in-law, my stepfather-in-law, Gene Williams, has a son named Barry. You know, just a little aside. Nice. So there's a Barry Williams. All right, what about, so we already talked about Christopher Knight. We've already talked about Mike Lookinland. How about Jan?
Eve Plum.
And Cindy?
Susan Olsen. And what about Robbie Wrist? What about Robbie Wrist?
So I was going to bring that up a little bit later. So Cousin Oliver, right? So
I was just saying ahead. You knew how much you knew. We can pull it back, but I was like, you're getting cocky. Let's pull back Oliver for later, but you got it right. Nice play. Nice play.
Let's go ahead and address the John Denver baby picture in the room. I mean, I think
Denver baby. You never seen him in the same room.
You never did. I always thought there might have been some sort of weird time travel thing going on where John Denver went back to his childhood and came back and played Cousin Oliver. But the main question to ask.
I've never thought about that, but that is brilliant.
Totally. He's John Denver. Yeah. If in your opinion or in our viewers' opinions, and I'll put a little graphic up here where people can pretend to check one or the other, was the presence of Cousin Oliver a net positive or a net negative on the show? I don't know.
Okay, so a very famous line or a very famous saying nowadays is called "jump the shark." You've probably heard that, and it's when a sitcom or a TV show does something so weird or brings in a different character, they say they jump the shark. I don't think they jumped the shark with Oliver.
No,
I don't.
No,
I mean I think he played the part. I don't think
he was adorable
or helped. He was adorable. You love John Denver.
Adorable. He was spunky. He was mischievous. Yeah. I love John Denver. He was mischievous. I don't know that we ever knew how he fit into the family. Was it Carol's sister's son or her brother's son or Mike's brother's son or sister's son? I don't know. He was Cousin Oliver.
I'm thinking based on the color of hair, it had to be from Carol's side.
Probably so. He didn't have curls though, and he was the youngest one. But I think that when Astro, stop scratching. Come here. Get my dog up here on my lap. Come here. Oh, don't poop in my lap. I got my good luck idol on, so I shouldn't have any problems like that.
Are y'all wearing the same colors?
How embarrassing.
Are you wearing Astro Turf
when the Brady Bunch might have started jumping the shark is when they could have taken a wrong turn and jumped the shark is when they started going to the Grand Canyon and to Hawaii. But I think in their case, those were showcase episodes. Those were great.
I think so. Yeah. I don't think that those are shark jumpers. I think that I can't. Now, obviously, we watched them in reruns, right? I mean,
yeah.
It started in the late 60s, right? So,
I think probably, some of my very early memories, I might have watched some of the later episodes in primetime.
Tail end, yeah.
But for the most part, we were watching the reruns, yeah.
Right. When they might have jumped
sick from school. When's that?
Well, when you started having episodes like with Johnny Bravo. Do you remember Johnny Bravo?
Which was that was actually the last episode, I think.
Was it
maybe
really?
The last episode is when he accidentally dyed his hair orange. But that was the last season. So yeah, they kind of started jumping the shark. And I always wondered, was the cartoon Johnny Bravo, was that sort of an homage to the Brady Bunch?
I don't know. I mean, you know why he was Johnny Bravo, right?
Well, the guy came out there and saw them in the. I can make you a star, and that was his. What they named him, Johnny Bravo. He was going to be the singing sensation of the '60s, But I don't know why they called him Johnny Bravo.
Well, it's not why they called him Johnny Bravo. He was easily replaced, and the only reason they took him as Johnny Bravo is he fit the suit. So
that's true.
We got a Johnny Bravo.
But
and
the
when
cartoon Johnny Bravo, he wouldn't have fit the suit. He would have busted through it with those.
He's a combination of Cousin Oliver and Elvis. So
he is, yeah.
Now, which one dyed their hair orange? Was that Greg?
Yeah, Greg. I don't remember exactly what the premise was, but he had some special shampoo, or he used maybe Jan was selling shampoo, or Peter or something like that for a school fundraiser, and he washed his hair with it, and it turned his hair bright orange.
If I may,
give me just a minute. My dog is scratching to get out. Save that thought. Let me go take Astro in the house.
It's the idol.
Taboo will be gone once you put it back.
I should have listened to you, Kim.
You should always listen to me. I know my Brady Bunch episodes.
That old guy in the village told me that if I left it here in this ancient burial cave, that we could get rid of the curse. Quick run!
So I'm sitting here right now. I'm going to talk about Rocky a little bit, and he has no idea I'm doing this until he edits it, but that idol's trouble.
I can't believe this. I get on the airplane, I look in the pouch. It found me. I knew this baby was good luck.
Here, if I'm not mistaken, yes, one of them did dye their hair, but Bobby and Oliver got their hands on that shampoo first and dyed a bunch of rabbits.
Oh, you're right.
And PETA apparently was not in existence yet, but they would have had a cow. But then someone did dye their hair orange.
They would have treated that cow very humanely.
Exactly. They wouldn't have shampooed it with anything that had dye in it. No. I was thinking today when we talked about possibly doing a Brady Bunch episode soon, and we are not unlike Greg, Peter, and Bobby, the Seal Boys. We're not. And we all have different things that are like each other. My voice is breaking. I'm sorry, Peter. You get it? But seriously, you think about it.
I get it.
T looked a lot like Cindy, and
I can see T being Bobby, and
oh my gosh, yes.
But you
yes.
If anybody was going to forge a friendship with Vern Troyer, I think it would be you. It would have been you.
And Christopher Knight did that. Yes. I've often wanted to Vern is no longer with us either, so I'll never be able to forge said friendship, but he played an iconic character. So let me ask you a question before we go a little further on Brady Bunch. In fact, it deals with the Brady Bunch. So let's do the math. You are 3 boys who have a single father. You have a single father. Your hormones are probably racing. All of a sudden, these 3 gals come into your house. And I would think that most people would say, oh, no, that's wrong. That's wrong. Well, what if you were dating one of them and then they got married? What do you do then?
Well, like if Greg Brady had married Marcia Brady in the show, they're not blood. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, because people would say, yeah, I don't think that could happen. But let's say Greg Brady was dating Marcia, whatever her name was, and then they got married. So now they are dating stepbrother and sister, but it was already in existence. Yeah. Because everyone's going to say, if I was Greg, look, I would have, of course, apparently he was hitting on Florence Henderson, but that's here and there.
Right, but he also there was a romance with him and Maureen McCormick, right? But, look at a show we've recently touched on and we keep coming back to. I mean, Daniel-san brings Robbie into the house to kind of, help him out, and there's a budding romance between Robbie and his daughter.
But it's not like a stepson or a stepdaughter.
That's
you watch
true.
Arrested Development?
Foster. Oh, yeah. Yeah, cousin
You got
maybe.
the cousins who find out they're not blood related.
Right.
And Michael's like, hey, we ought to do something to really shock them, like kiss. He's like, okay. Really? You think that'll work?
So good. You talk about raging hormones. I always liked kind of the love story between Alice and Sam. Right?
Let me tell you. If you were to write a book about true love, you could use them as the couple.
Yeah, I mean those episodes where he was going to take her to the meat packers ball or the meat cutters ball or whatever that was, and you just believed that was like the greatest. That was like the social event of the year in California or whatever.
He was just trying to show her the meat packers ball. I don't know why.
Yeah, Sam was a playa.
But he loved Alice.
I think that's why he got the nickname Sam the Butcher.
He was a salesman. He didn't even cut meat.
He was
the nickname.
He was slaying the ladies.
He was laying the ladies. So if you look at we can all look at the Brady house and know that here's the kitchen. To the left is that like family room. Then to the right is the dining room and the main room. Then you go upstairs, you got Mike's office and their bed. Where was Alice's room? Was it like off the kitchen to the back? Okay, it was.
Kind of off the kitchen, like where the washer and dryer were. Yeah.
Did we ever see it? I mean, obviously there were suds in the they oversuds the washer one time.
Saw her.
Did we ever? We did. Okay.
We saw her room a couple of times.
Okay, I was
As
just
I recall,
curious.
it was very sparsely decorated. Like there might have been a picture like this big on the wall, and then there was like a lamp on her and a mirror. But it was like a really, very plain looking room. I mean, Mike was he was putting all the decorating money into his study, and like the little thing back behind their bed.
Behind their bed.
Yeah, there was a
sweet staircase.
Nice decorating. There was a sweet staircase. Yeah.
Dangerous staircase
now. Dangerous. Yeah, you'd fall right through it. But you said that you compare yourself to. This thing's choking me.
Why?
I don't know.
Rocky,
I think I just
are you
had it on
right?
a little.
Are you sleeping?
Yeah. That must have been my fault. You always said that, you just said that you kind of compare yourself to Peter. I compare you to Jan because I recall you like stealing something from a Brady episode as if it was your own. And you kind of said one time, like, well, I feel like the middle child's just invisible.
And you know what I had going for me when I said that?
What's that?
I'm not sure Mom and Dad saw that episode.
I don't think they did because they thought you. I think I remember them thinking you came up with that, and they were like, "Well,
they were like,
God.
oh my gosh, we really need to think about this. Military school?
That didn't work out as planned." Oh my
it
gosh.
did. Yeah. The Brady Bunch is an absolute classic, and it's one of those shows that you've got some shows that. Dallas Cowboys, you love them or you hate them. You've got some shows you love them or you hate them. This one I've never heard anyone say, I don't like it. You love it or you like it a lot, right?
Yeah, there's nothing to dislike about it.
There's nothing to dislike. It's just such a great show. Yeah.
I mean, you had famous people showing up. Davy Jones.
Yeah.
You had Joe Namath came on there.
Hey man, they played. Which one was it that was it Reggie? was it Joe Namath that they played like a fiddle? I want to say Joe Namath was friends with Mike, but there was one major star, and it might have been Muhammad Ali or something like that, that one of them pretended they were very sick.
I think it was Don Drysdale.
It was Don Drysdale. It was Don Drysdale. Yes. And he came to visit him because he was very sick. I'm like, dude, they played him like
I think it was Bobby. They did. But they got Bobby back, because I think that was Bobby. And then what did they do to him? You know, then Bobby all of a sudden starts idolizing Jesse James, and they bring in that old cowboy-looking guy with the bald head. That, like, his parents had been killed by the real Jesse James, right? That was a tough lesson to teach an 8-year-old. You don't remember that?
Wait, are you serious? No.
So, like, Bobby... I'm serious, yeah. Bobby, like, there was an episode where he was running around pretending he was Jesse James, right?
Okay.
And he was pretending like he was robbing people and all that. And Mike sits him down and says, "My Bobby, you know, Jesse James was an actual outlaw. I mean, he was a very bad guy." And Bobby just didn't believe that. And then they found a guy, like, that lived in Southern California, I guess, in their neighborhood. And he was this old guy, looked like he was about 90 years old. You've seen him in Westerns, the actor that played him. But he comes in and he's like, "Huh?" No. You'd recognize. He always played like Cookie. You know, he was real skinny, kind of, you know.
Okay.
And but he said, "Well, Bobby, come here. We'd like you to meet this gentleman. You say hi to Mr. So-and-so." And he's like, he knew Jesse James. "What? You knew Jesse James?" "Well, yeah, Bobby, I did." "Well, tell me about that." "Well, Jesse James killed my parents." You know, he was like, and he starts telling the story about he was not a good guy, you know, and Bobby's like, "Oh my God." That night, Bobby has this horrible dream where they're on a train and Jesse James comes on there and he's going to kill all of his family, and he wakes up, you know, he's like, "I don't like Jesse James. I don't like Jesse James." You know,
man, that is like the ultimate wah-wah.
That's a tough lesson, man.
I mean, that is a tough lesson to learn, man.
It is.
Oh my gosh, that's brutal.
You know,
I mean,
it's like I was thinking about that because it's just weird to think of the time when that was, because this was like the 60s, so the adults. Yeah. I mean, there were still people around that were alive when Jesse James was, like, they were still like Civil War people.
Sure,
and,
yeah.
Like, because I remember, like, do you remember, like, there was this big rivalry? Like, I can't remember who was who, but, like, Carol went to City College and Mike went to State, you know, so when City was going to play State, you know, they'd have their big rivalry and they'd get all dressed up to go to the game, and like Mike would have like a raccoon coat, you know, and a pennant. It's like, what are you gonna drive out there like a
jalopy?
Yeah, you're not that old. And then, you know, then one of their things that they did one time was show the kids how they could do the Charleston. I'm like,
yeah,
you weren't like, you're not that old.
I could see Mike pulling up to that game in his raccoon thing, waving his flag, going,
Carol's in the rumble seat with Sam, you know?
Right? Yeah, my money would be on State rather than City. I think they've got a bigger pool to pull from. You know what I'm saying?
I think so.
A lot more players they have access to.
I think that was always left unsaid. So I think Mike might have gone to State, and he let Carol have her little, you know.
That is so funny. I don't remember that either. Now here's what's funny. It sounds like all of these shows that you're telling me with bits and pieces that I don't remember, if Kim were to come in the room right now, she would say so many things that you don't remember. She would know a lot more. Isn't that something? Yeah.
She would know who was City and who was State. I think Carol was City and Mike was State, but
that is so awesome. I want to go watch them again. How many seasons were they on?
I want to say like 6, 7?
6, yeah. 6 or 7.
Yeah, I don't know, though. I mean, I don't know that I'm going to completely defer to Kim's Brady Bunch knowledge, because she would still maintain that this is bad luck. And I'm just not buying that.
Fair enough. Rocky, look out behind you.
It's time for closing thoughts with Jeff. And now, here's Jeff.
There's a lot of truth to Jan's comment that middle children are never acknowledged. And if you think about it, even the storylines given the actors proved it. Case in point, let's look at Greg and Marcia, the oldest children. They were given the groovy episodes such as the football to the nose incident and becoming pop sensation Johnny Bravo. And what about Bobby and Cindy? Why not play off their cute innocence to create memorable moments such as pretending to be sick in order to meet Joe Namath, and of course the unforgettable Kitty Carryall mystery, showcasing Cindy's puppy dog eyes tearing up in fear that she would never see her doll again. Adorable. And then there's Peter and Jan. Peter was given a riveting storyline in which his voice was changing, while Jan, well, I'm not sure she ever had more than 4 lines per show. And why? They were middle children. This is very similar to the upbringing in our house. You had Rocky, the oldest and the golden child, Toby, the ne'er-do-wrong baby of the clan, and the middle kid who was, well, just Jeff. All right, we ready to shoot this thing? What do you mean we're done? We've already shot it? Well, then I guess until next time, I sure wish you'd let the star of the show know. I swear sometimes I feel invisible.
Thank you for listening to the Just Jeff and the Dazzlingly Uncool podcast. Check back every Thursday for new episodes. If there's a topic you think we should discuss on the podcast, leave us a comment or a message and we'll do our best to get to it. Check us out on Facebook and join our group called Growing Up 70s and 80s Texas Style. Didn't grow up in the 70s or the 80s? No problem. Didn't grow up in Texas? No problem. We still want you in the group and as part of the discussion. Hey, do you think you yourself may be dazzlingly uncool? Well, if you found your way to our podcast, chances are pretty good, or at least that you will be one day. Wear that title with pride. To find out more, check out www.rockysealmusic.com.
Good Lord.